Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Pipe Bomb Sessions. This week, or rather, I say this past weekend, we saw ESPN host WWE's first ever PLE on their platform. And mind you, I like to say a few things which hopefully doesn't get the crowd and others upset who are listening today. First and foremost, the ESPN PLE was a thumbs down, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. I don't know what we were doing out there. Thank God for Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer matchups. I'll even take the mixed tag team matchup, honestly speaking. But other than that, what did we really have going on during that PLE, man? I'm just in shock that they really had people convinced and paying $30 a month to sit through ads, of all things. You're telling me that we have a pay-per-view that we're paying for, and you're making me sit through a commercial and ad in between it? Yo, that's just unbelievably crazy. It's not like, maybe it's commercials, advertisements for WWE related at least. No, we are looking at just random commercials, advertisements that just come on TV and stuff, guys. What the oh my God, what the F? That really just really gave me just a bad notion. Like, I'm paying all this money for you to not even show me the product. Like, a lot of people are paying for ESPN Unlimited only to watch WWE PLEs, right? Like, I feel like maybe some improvements, rather than a lot of improvements, could be made here. And they must be made. I don't know what is going on in that sense. I don't like what I saw also, if I'm being totally 100% honest. Yeah, that was the first thing. I thought the matches in themselves were alright. We saw, the night began with Lesnar coming out and absolutely decimating John Cena, which, honestly, guys, I'm a little bit in shock that Cena took the L the way he took it here, right? Like, what the hell was that? You're telling me we gave Cena his last two matches were Logan Paul and then a squash match with Brock Lesnar, and then the next time now we see Cena is gonna be sometime on a Raw. I am hearing rumors that it might actually, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, be AJ Styles as a matchup for Cena, which, hey, man, we requested it, and if we get it, I'll take it. He only has 5 appearances left. Out of the 5, 3 of them are either PLE / including his last final match, which, in a sense, can be considered a PLE, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Saturday night's main event. However, for the most part, right, it's like, what are you going to do with Cena now? You got 5 appearances left, and he just got squashed. He's not supposed to be showing up anytime soon. One of the appearances is obviously going to be Crown Jewel. I'm not sure who's going to face. Maybe someone just makes a challenge to him. Possibly that type of deal going on. However, I don't know, man. Like, originally, rumors were told that Cena was supposed to win the match. That very morning, he was scheduled to win the matchup. This is the thing where I think Triple H has been kind of maybe just getting self-doubts sometimes on his storylines. Sometimes the best idea is the original idea, or the idea given by, the superstars who are going to be competing in the ring. I say that specifically because of what happened in the main event of WrestlePalooza between McIntyre and Rhodes. But let me get to that in a second, right? Let's go down this card. Obviously the bronze match, then we had them versus the Usos. LA Knight somehow got added in last minute as a special guest ref. match had to get called off early because this guy Jay literally gave himself what seemed like a concussion, but I guess not, since he competed on Raw Monday night. So I assume he didn't give himself a concussion, but he was dripping blood, man. Like, he really smacked himself and busted himself wide open through that chair shot. It did not look pretty. So, hey, good for Jay that at least he was okay and nothing wrong happened, right? Something that happened wrong for someone was Io Sky, who was going into the match with Stephanie Vaquer for the vacated Women's World Championship, trying to regain it. But instead, Stephanie Vaquer walked out the new Women's World Champ. Yo, the acceleration on this woman's career. Talk about a rocket on your back and strapping it right into the moon type of deal. Go right to the sun even. Like, she's on fire, to say the least. And I think this momentum's only going to keep up, man. Like, well, obviously, see, I thought Io was going to be interrupted maybe by, like, Asuka or someone, you know, costing the matchup by accident, quote unquote. Something like that, but it seemed like it was a clean matchup, very good matchup to say the least, for sure, between both women. And Stephanie Vaquer came up on top. A matchup that I think a lot of people were looking forward to. Then afterwards was the mixed tag team matchup. Saw the return of AJ Lee to the ring. Of course, AJ Lee and Punk take the win. AJ Lee actually made Becky Lynch tap out. I think that's pretty big, because of the simple fact that now this sets up a future women's IC title matchup between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. This is where I see AJ Lee taking that title off of Becky as well. I would not be surprised by that. That matchup, of course, is not confirmed yet. Not sure. But it could be happening at Crown Jewel. You never know, guys. Like, Crown Jewel is the next PLE, and that is a very big, hyped matchup that they could throw on there for sure, right? Like, I wouldn't see it any other way in that sense. Something else that was hyped, and they had to bring out The Undertaker to actually do this, was Stephanie McMahon is officially the first inductee into the Hall of Fame class of 2026. Congratulations to Stephanie McMahon. Well, I guess that was the big surprise that Triple H had hyped us up for, because the main event didn't give us a surprise. Rather, it gave us a Drew McIntyre clean loss against Cody Rhodes. Not what I was expecting, not what I even wanted to see, honestly. Like, what the hell was that? Now, I mentioned earlier that, you know, sometimes Triple H has to go with the original idea, which was Lesnar-Cena matchup with Cena winning. But not only that, the main event, both superstars came together and came up with a pretty cool idea. I'm going to say it here for those of you who may have heard it, may not have heard it even. It was supposed to bring out Orton, and then the Viper, Randy Orton, was going to cost, actually, Cody Rhodes his title by accident, right? Now, because of that, that's how Drew now becomes champ, holds up the title. This then leads to a rematch between them. Maybe Cody takes it back. And eventually, probably leads to Orton turning heel on Cody afterwards once he gets the title back again. I think that would have been a cooler story. And Drew gets his title, no matter how long it's for, whatever. But now, you had this huge PLE, you had your main event. It seemed like it was rather short, if I'm being 100% honest. Especially a matchup between Drew and Cody. That was a rather short matchup. And what do you give us? You give us... it seemed like the ref stopping Drew from attacking Cody again. And then... Cody just wins clean. I'm sure Drew's going to make an excuse about his injury, ref stopping him, some type of situation in that sense. But I don't know, man. Like I don't get it. It's just unbelievable to me, right? And I don't know. So, of course, Cody retained, full steam ahead to Crown Jewel, where, of course, the men's champions of both shows will be facing each other. So now we get Cody versus Rollins again at Crown Jewel. Now, I'm going to be the first one right now looking to say that Cody will beat Rollins again. Continue this on, continue this streak on. Maybe even we see a CM Punk interfere to cost Rollins the matchup, leads to a Punk Rollins matchup for that title of his. Where I mean, I don't see Punk taking the title from Rollins anyways right now, or at all. I don't think Punk's gonna be that guy to grab it off of him anyways. But we will get that one-on-one matchup nonetheless. Don't get me wrong on that part, right? Now, of course, we have the triple threat women's title matchup with Tiffy, Nia Jax, and Jade this upcoming on SmackDown. So the winner of that will be facing Stephanie Vaquer at Crown Jewel as well. So that's very interesting. Another thing that's interesting has been, as we saw on Raw, we saw Bayley go against Roxanne. Bayley ended up winning. Seemed like she was going through a lot of different changes, huh? Came out all chill and happy, and then, Lyra gets attacked at one point. Seems like I was right with the whole personality thing a couple weeks ago, because Bayley just snaps and goes back to quote unquote, I'm gonna say, her role model persona, I guess, if you want to say. That doesn't really lead to anything. She kind of yells at Lyra and they walk away, right? Another thing that's been going on is with Dirty Dom and his title. Dirty Dom better handle and understand what he's going to do and what's going to happen with his IC title, because Rusev wants a piece. Rusev wants a big slice of that IC title, actually. And we know Rusev, guys. Rusev is the destroyer. He will come and get what he wants. And in my opinion, Dirty Dom's days of champ are numbered, man. We even see that, because of how Dom's been acting, we see that, JD McDonough a little bit has kind of backed off. Finn obviously has had issues with Dom, even though he's not been open and vocal about it. But we've seen the signs and everything. And because of that, what do we see? We see, boom, again, Dirty Dom not helping JD McDonough after his matchup with Rusev. Balor comes in, interferes, saves his friend and tag team partner. And, he's like, what the hell, Dom? You're just standing there looking. Like, what's going on here? And, man, speaking of what's going on here, I think that's what's going through Jimmy Uso's head right now with his brother Jay. Jay's obviously going through the personality change, giving the heel persona a little bit to not only his brother, but, the crowd. And, we're getting kind of that, hey, I'm still a good guy, but I'm nah, I'm gonna just do me. We even saw he had a match with LA Knight. He beat LA Knight because of a distraction from the Vision. Took advantage, beat LA Knight. LA Knight's getting beat down. You see Jimmy Uso come out and save LA Knight after he even tells his brother to come down, and his brother says, nah, screw that. Let him get beat up. So that's interesting. And, of course, underwhelming PLE, followed by a rather okay Raw, which from the main event seems like we're going full-fledged forward with the tag team matchup between Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, because Rhea faced Asuka in the main event, where we see Rhea have a roll-up win, right? Asuka gets pissed. She misted Rhea in the face, brings out Io once the Kabuki Warriors start attacking. Then she attacks Io Io Sky, Asuka does, and looks like they turned on their friend Io as well in all this. So looks like we're moving completely straightforward with that situation. I don't mind it whatsoever. It's not a bad thing at all. Of course, we are having the crown jewel PLE coming up soon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one thing I wanted to report on here just real quick, because something I heard, that's what's happening with superstar Piper Niven, who's been out for quite some time, and I was just curious and looking into it, and I hear that she might be dealing with a rather severe injury, actually, and it may even be career threatening. So good luck to Piper Niven and whatever health complications she has indeed going on. Hopefully she's back out there with the Secret Hervis and Chelsea Green Alba Fire and, wrestling and putting on some good matches. Again, I'm not totally sure what is indeed going on. However, I do know that hopefully everything is all right. Hopefully that Piper Niven will be in the ring soon, and we will see her in action rather sooner than later. I know that, she still has some unfinished business with the current women's tag team champs. So again, I know she's been out of action. However, good luck to you, Piper Niven. If you are indeed threatened with a career-threatening injury, hopefully, get better, heal up, and we'll see you in the ring soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys once more. As usual, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe and like, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.